Good evening and welcome to Slam the Gavel, the show that tells it all regarding family court, other court issues, as well as CPS. I am your host, Marianne Petrie. I have a return guest on. Her name is Monica Griego. She was last on Slam the Gavel, which was October 27th, 2022, Season 3, Episode 142. She was also on Season 3, Episode 32, and Season 3, Number 2, and Season 2, Episode 10. We last discussed her updates on her CYFD case in New Mexico, and she warns parents not to enter the court system and to help end the corruption. Now, apparently, they have given her back her kids, but welcome back, Monica.
Hi.
So, what's going on now?
Well, they wouldn't stop with a trial home visit until I finally agreed. They used Esmeralda as their voice because they knew I was not going to listen to them anymore. So they went to the foster home to talk to Esmeralda about it several times until Esmeralda finally, kept telling me about it. And then my boyfriend told me about it, and I told him, I said, it's not a good idea. Let me tell you why. They're going to do the same thing they did to me and my husband, to me and you. He didn't listen to me. That's what they're doing.
Oh, no.
They're trying to put us back into the same illegal contract, forcibly. They want me and him both to do the anger management, domestic violence, parenting, everything, counseling, couples counseling. I'm like, no.
Right.
You're not making us lose our jobs and our lives for your crap, because that's what it is. I mean, we're not gonna keep doing this. We have nothing to prove. We don't. I mean, they're just mad because my boyfriend didn't want to work for them. He has all the qualifications to be a social worker if you want him to be.
Oh, yes.
And they're mad because he didn't accept their offer. They were gonna give him a $12,000 a month for 2 years to work for them, and he said no.
Good for him.
He just doesn't. He's been through the system himself, so maybe sometime down the road I'll get him to maybe come on your show and tell his story when he's finally ready. But he told me, he's like, just do it. And I'm like, you're gonna see that this is not what you use. And it's because he's never really he's been in foster care, but a different kind. Like my brother, a different kind. There was a treatment foster care for them. So it didn't foster care like a home. Where you see what's really going on in these homes. And so it's been hard. It's been really hard to hear from Esmeralda what's happened to her. She's explained more in detail the sexual abuse that Mark committed with her and Holly both. And the way I feel is, if the state of New Mexico and these courts in New Mexico and the FBI, the CIA, the government itself, everybody does not sorry.
It's okay.
If they do not prosecute Mark for this, if they do not put him in jail or in prison for life, I am seriously going to recommend to all parents, do not trust the state of New Mexico with your court case whatsoever, with your children's case, with them getting you the help that you and your children need. Because if they don't do this, if they don't prosecute him, if they don't do nothing, like they haven't been doing nothing.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm surprised this has gone on this long and they haven't done anything with him.
I feel like part of it is they know that they will be closed down. It's going to happen anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not even considering the day that God steps foot on the earth. When that happens, there's not going to be a chance to say you get 25 years for life or something. They're not going to. No judge is going to get to charge Mark with nothing when God steps foot. When God steps foot, he's just going to say, okay, you're all guilty, you're all going.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just it. You know, and like, I don't understand how these people can live with themselves, can wake up every day and look at their families and act happy and live like nothing's wrong. And of course, because it's not happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
But the day it does, they're not going to know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of parents walking around like sitting ducks.
You know, and for me, it really bothers me. It really does, because I was one of those kids
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't believed, even though the evidence was there. That's the sickening part of it, is that New Mexico has always been corrupt and evil.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the evidence was there for me. I mean, I even posted recently. I mean, my records are on Facebook. And the person that raped me, he has a Facebook account.
Hmm.
And I guess he's been watching me because he told my brother about everything I exposed. And it's like, wow, you know, you can't just hurt someone and think that you're immune because you didn't get prosecuted.
Mm-hmm. Why haven't the police done anything with him?
That's what I'm saying. Be crying because they're probably equally as guilty. They probably rape kids too. They probably have drug money involved. He's probably dealing drugs for them. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm guessing, because I mean, come on, he had Holly playing with the phone that had he made Holly a fake email account, and he was either buying, selling, or dealing, or all three, fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
And CYFD they had no concern about it. Like, and that's why, like, recently I have deleted some people from my friends list, because the way I feel is, when a man is capable of sexually abusing his own children, I don't care what rights he has.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the Bible, in Leviticus. It clearly talks about sexual abuse right there. It clearly talks about no one no one that's related to nobody. And it says why. So for anyone that's not reading the Bible, you need to open a book and read it. Read what it says about sexual abuse in the Bible. Because, you know, for a man to want to hurt his own children that he brought into this world with his wife, he doesn't deserve respect. He doesn't deserve honor. He doesn't deserve nothing. And anyone that can stand up for him and defend his rights is just as sick.
Yeah, I agree.
Is just as sick, because and is no advocate, because I don't care. I mean, for me, even me as a woman, I'm not gonna stand by a woman like my own cousin. She's left her son for years I'm not gonna stand by her and justify why she left her son. She's chosen to leave her son
Mm-hmm.
for a man. She's never made an attempt to call her son, to buy her son a gift, to see him. So she doesn't deserve to be called mother.
It was, you just wonder what is the matter with people. I think there's more personality disorders now than there ever have been.
It's that, but it's also people like my mom from the past, you know. My mom used to excuse my cousins a lot. She'd say because of this or because of that. I'm like, no, there's no reason. Look at me. Look at everything I've been through. And I don't make excuses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I still get up and I still am there for my kids. And we finally got food stamps for the kids and got insurance for Holly back finally.
Oh, good.
I think that lady at the food stamp office got kind of scared because I was on the phone with her and I told her, I said, do I need to report this to the income support division constituent affairs?
Mm-hmm.
And I think she got scared. And I think that's why maybe they processed it soon enough. I don't know. But I mean, to me, CYFD is just, they really need to just close the case.
Right.
This whole trial home visit,
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because when I saw that you had the kids back, but then there was a big but, they're still putting you through this and making you jump through hoops.
Yeah, because they're trying to get, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get me to go to family court. That's their main objective.
Mhm.
We're not going to close the case till the mom and the dad are completely divorced. I'm like, if you want the divorce, then why don't you pay for it?
Right.
Why don't you pay for it and why don't you put him in jail?
Mhm.
Because I'm not going to no courts. I'm not.
Mhm.
I will not step foot in family court for what nothing. And he did the way I see it, he doesn't have rights. I'll be the judge. If
Mhm.
the judge can't be the judge, I'll be the judge. I know the Constitution. I know the laws. I mean, it seems like that's what it's coming down to.
Right.
Is for us to be the judges because these judges are not judges. They're not judges.
No, they're not.
They're just people in black robes
Mhm.
acting like they know the law, making up their own laws as long as they go along.
Mhm.
Like, how dare they want reunification after they destroyed us?
Mhm.
How dare them try to go and sit there and say, "Oh, we're gonna do reunification. Miss Griego and Mr. Griego are gonna do reunification." No, you're not. No, you're not. Not with me. You're not. I'm not reunifying with him. He's not getting his rights back. When this trial home visit ends, he's not seeing his kids.
Mhm.
Not on my doorstep. He's not. I'm not co-parenting with him. I would have co-parented with him if he would have never hurt the kids.
Right.
But when he hurt the kids, when he chose to hurt the girls, that was the end of it for me. And that's my right. That's my choice. And it's also the girls' choices too, because they get traumatized every time they see him.
Mhm.
And that's because all they do is they go back and they process everything that they lived for a whole year with him in their mind, being left home alone, having to bathe themselves, having to cook for themselves,
Mm.
turning on the computer themselves, not knowing what sites to go to or what's on the computer or what, because no one's there to tell them nothing. So they got to kind of figure it out on their own. They didn't even never know if they were eating raw food or cooked food.
Mhm.
That's probably why he ordered pizza so many times for them, because he didn't want to have to cook nothing.
Mhm. Or then when you get the kids, they're starving.
Yeah, and it's like, or like today, Holly's been like no to everything.
Mhm.
She's been so picky, so picky. And I think it's because that's her way of dealing with having to go see him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I told Esmeralda today, I said, look, I said, if you don't want to go see him, when they come to the door, say, I'm not going to see him and close the door. It is your right to say no.
Mhm.
I said, I can't do it for you. I said, if you don't want to go see him, do not go see him.
Mhm.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And she said, okay. But we'll see what happens when they get to the door, because these people, they make the girls feel, I think what they do in general is make people, they hire people that look so nice and friendly. And these people make these kids want to do things. They're so used to it, right? They're so used to that friendly look, like, oh, no one's gonna hurt you when we're around. No, I'm not gonna stop him from hurting them. Didn't stop him before.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then this wraparound person that we're done with, since we've had the girls, she hasn't had not one therapy session with Esmeralda. So we're gonna try to find someone somewhere else in the community, someone separate from their agencies, because
Mhm.
I'm starting to realize it's just them. They're just trying to set us up, I think. And that's what I think. I mean, I
Mhm.
don't trust them anymore. I don't.
I wouldn't either.
I've
Oh,
lost
I
my
don't.
I've lost my trust with them decades ago. And they'll never be the same. For me, I mean, what I can't believe is how people that don't even deserve to get their kids back have gotten them back.
Mhm.
You know? And
Yeah.
it's like, you know, I'm trying to, what I'm wondering is what's going to happen when these 4 months are over?
Mhm.
Because they said we are going to have a trial home visit for 4 months. And I'm like, I just don't believe it.
Mhm. So then you're mentally setting yourself up for them to take them back?
I am,
Oh.
because the thing is, they've already started with their whole game playing of this little, messing with Holly's insurance, knowing that we need it.
Mm.
They don't even tell us how much benefits the girls were getting. So, and it's like the less you try to communicate with them, the more they try to communicate with you.
Mhm.
But there's been times that I try not to answer their emails. I'm like,
Mm.
I answer people because they will keep on and on.
Mhm.
Sometimes I won't though, like, and I think my boyfriend and me he's finally starting to see it too. Like I told him, I said, you gotta be careful with this agencies, because a lot of people don't realize this, but and some people call it superstitious, but like here in New Mexico, not everyone believes this, but lately me and my boyfriend are starting to believe that they're doing some kind of brujeria on us. Brujeria is like, witchery,
Uh-huh.
like evil spirits or something, because like we'll go to bed just perfectly fine, and then we'll wake up with like a scratch on us or something, or a bruise that wasn't there, and we're like, he looks at me, I look at him, and we're like, what happened to us?
Mhm. Mhm.
What happened to us? What happened to us? How did we get this? And we even sleep separate sides sometimes.
Mhm.
This nothing will get to us, and it still does. And so, like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, I'm like, so that's why sometimes I don't answer them, or I take a long time to answer them, because it's like, are they trying to put witchery? Are they trying to do brujeria on me? I mean, Mark started seeing that when we were actually on speaking terms before he hurt the girls. He
Mhm.
seen it himself. He said, we'd sleep and we'd wake up the same way like me and David.
Mhm.
Scratches or bruised somewhere, and it's like sometimes we'd sleep separate too, like to see if it would make a difference, and it wouldn't. It's like people have like they're paying somebody to do evil on us.
Mm.
And a lot of people don't believe it, but
Oh, I do believe it.
if you pay attention close enough to what's happening in your life, how you're sleeping, like today, this morning, I woke up with severe chest pain. I'm like, my gosh, I'm like, I don't want to go to the hospital. And my boyfriend told me, he's like, oh, I think it's just how you slept. You slept the wrong way or something. So he gave me a heating pad, and luckily it helped. And so I took a heating pad and some aspirin and turned it away and massaged my chest a little, and I'm okay. But
Huh.
you know, I don't know. There's people. I just wish that they would get out of our lives already.
Yeah.
I'm tired of them already. I
Well, they
mean,
probably put you through so much you have a stomach ulcer now.
I've had that for years, but I mean, but sometimes I think it might be getting worse. Like I haven't seen a doctor in years, like because I just don't want these doctors to get my records and
Mhm.
give it to them, because that's what I feel like they've been doing all these years. They've been giving my records to CYFD for years. Because I mean, and that's why I stopped going to the doctor. Like all my problems, like I have books I buy sometimes that talk about medical stuff to help with medical problems. That way I can just take care of it at home. I don't want to really go to the doctor because I'm like, I mean, like when my foot, when my husband pushed me in the ground and almost broke my foot.
Mm.
I put my foot, I took the brace off my foot and I put it in the foot massager
Mm.
because I couldn't miss work at that
Yeah.
time, working, and I couldn't miss work, so
Mm.
I just took care of myself, and that was it.
Yeah.
Just been like kind of like my own doctor, I guess.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I mean, but yeah, life's kind of like it's hard because like we're trying to get this place looking nice, and rebuilding is hard because like we still haven't gotten the furniture we really want or stuff like that. But
And, why can't they see that, you have a nice apartment and sure, it's not furnished the way you want, but, the kids have everything they need. Why don't they
yeah,
just let you go?
because
It's
of money, it's because of money, mostly Holly's money. Holly's you know, disabled kids get a lot of money. They get more money for disabled kids, and not just that, but it's also Bernadette. I think Bernadette's still trying to bug them about how she really wants to adopt the kids. She really loves the kids, blah blah. Even though Esmeralda told me that Bernadette slapped her and Holly
mm,
when they both threw up in her van.
mm,
I guess she overfed them and
for
they got
once.
sick. Well, she knows she has a habit of doing that.
Okay.
She overfeeds them and they both get sick, and then yeah, and then she abuses them. And yeah, because recently Esmeralda had popcorn in her closet and here at home, and I said, "What are you doing with that?" "Oh, I'm gonna eat it later." I said, "No, you're not." I said, "We're not doing overeating here. We're not gonna hide food here.
Mhm, mhm,
You have no need to hide food here. You eat 3 square meals a day. You eat plenty of snacks. You're not hiding food here. This is not Bernadette's house, not Nancy's house. You're not in foster care anymore. You're home.
mhm.
You're not hiding food."
Jeez.
Yeah, she has a bad habit of hiding food. And Holly has this thing where she likes to play with Play-Doh so much. Likes to leave it everywhere. I'm like, okay, but if you leave it somewhere and it dries out, I'm gonna throw it away.
Mhm.
Because even with Holly getting older now, she just recently turned 12 years old, and she's going to be a really picky teenager.
Mhm.
She has to be like a teenager, literally. Like everything is no there.
Yeah.
Everything. Like she don't want to eat breakfast, regular breakfast foods no more. And you offer her breakfast foods, no. I'm like, okay, no phone then.
Mhm.
Because see, Mark had them. Irene and Mark both had this problem with the devices.
Mhm.
They bought so many phones and iPads and tablets for the kids. And when I say the kids, I also mean Junior as well.
Mhm.
They bought so many that they had one for throughout the whole entire day, throughout the whole entire night. And every time you see the kids, Junior or Holly or Esmeralda, they always have a tablet or always had a phone. And I'm like, how are they doing this? And then when I started seeing at Moon's house, she had 4 phones. She
Mhm.
started getting all at once. And I'm like, she had them all like robots controlled.
Mhm.
That's how she's able to claim that they're disabled. That's how she's able to claim that they're disabled because she's not teaching them nothing.
Yeah. There's a lot of fraud going around.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to find like even with me, like the kids want like today, Esmeralda thought she could be on the tablet all day, all night. I'm like, no. That's why I just took the tablet and the phone here, and it's gonna be here because I told them I said they're not gonna be like robots here. You're not.
Mhm.
You're
No,
gonna
that's
read a book, watch a movie,
mhm.
go outside, something.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be like robots. They're not gonna be on those devices all day long, all 2 weeks that you're home.
Yeah, good for you.
I just can't stand it
Oh,
because
yeah.
you can't get them to pay attention to nothing, and then they don't. Their IQ level it goes down. And then when they go back to school, the teachers are looking at you like, well, what did you teach your kids?
Yeah.
And I know Esmeralda, she's starting to learn not to like give me hassle. Before she used to get really mad when I tried to get off the device, but now she's she finds other things to do. She has plenty of books. She likes books like me. So,
Mhm.
but now it's just about getting her to actually want to read the books because she picked up a lot of behaviors from her dad,
Mhm.
enabling behaviors.
Mhm.
Like he out of laziness, he'll tell everybody he can't read.
Mhm.
It's laziness. It's not
Yeah.
that he can't read. It's not that he has dyslexia. He don't want to read.
Mhm.
He picks and chooses what he wants to read. Because I have a picture of him reading a book, and he picked that book. That's a book that he liked to read. So that's Esmeralda, the same thing. She says she picked these books. I said, okay, then you're gonna read them. And when she'll stand and say, oh, I can't read this. I'm like, well, why'd you buy it? And so the way I get her to read a book is because she'll sit there and want to play with all her toys and won't want to read, and and then she'll want to pick up her toys.
Mhm.
She said she can't pick up her toys. I'm like, okay, then they're gonna go in the trash. Okay, I'll pick them up.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right away, she'll pick them up, and it's because she's not used to rules. She's not used to rules. Always not used to rules either. They're used to just making the house a mess, sleeping in fields, no structure, no bedtime routine, no nothing. And my boyfriend is starting to see that it's good to have them on a routine because you know usually even before 10 o'clock sometimes Holly's already asleep
Mhm.
snoring. Yeah,
Yeah, kids want routine.
they
I
do. They just you have to give it to them though. Parents have to give it to them.
And, CYFD is breaking up families, CPS is breaking up families, and they're creating no structure, like you said, with these kids
Yep.
and disrespect for authority.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, but they're making kids want to trust them and not the parents, not the families.
Hmm.
That's what really bothers me. And it's like, these kids, before going into foster care, they knew who to trust. Now they don't know who to trust. Now they're just like, oh, that they said you didn't want me, or because I'm pretty sure that's what they tell a lot of these kids.
Hmm.
They didn't want me. They didn't care about me, and then some of these kids believe it.
That's sad.
And that's why, like I tell a lot of parents, bring those baby pictures, bring them. If you have any old videos, bring them. If you have any videos on your phone that you had on YouTube or something that you recorded from years ago from your kids, bring it, because that's gonna make those kids remember where they really came from.
Hmm.
And so we're just hoping that we can get everything we need for the kids, hopefully without CYFD's involvement at all. Like, I don't really want them to know where I'm getting my services from.
Hmm.
I don't.
Yeah, I think you've had it with them. I think their reign of terror should be over with you.
They should just
Oh,
close the case and leave us alone.
no, right, right.
Like I mean, we asked them for help with housing. I'm like, what's taking so long? I mean, I know they've worked faster for other families.
Mm,
I know they did it for Mark.
right.
I know they did it for Mark because I have all the proof of all the times that they were sending him this or giving him that, and even the therapist from Touchman Healing were lying about him.
Hmm. Oh,
It's like
yeah,
I
it
don't,
seems they just don't know when to quit or leave parents alone.
yeah, and it's like, I mean, like the way I see it, it's like, why are they trying to be nice so they can come back and take my kids again?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I can almost guarantee if they did it again, Esmeralda's not gonna be the kid that they think she is right now.
Hmm.
She's not. She's
They,
gonna she's gonna be a kid that they don't want to see.
yeah, and they don't have the education to know what this is doing to a child's brain when they're taking them away from a good fit parent.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. And like, I mean, they wanted me to put the kids in daycare too. I'm like, I'm not putting them in daycare.
Huh.
I'll stay home and take care of them,
Yeah.
and I'll find a work from home job or something.
Yeah. Well, they need to see you because they haven't seen you in how many years?
Yeah, yeah. And they were used to that structure too. That's the
Ugh,
thing. They were used to going to school and me being there at home, and but for 7 years they've been from home to home to home. And then with them involving Bernadette, I'm like,
ugh.
they should have investigated her a lot more than what they did, and they should listen to me about her. I was so angry when I found out when Esmeralda told me that she slapped her and Holly. I'm like, how can these people still allow her to have anyone in her home,
Mhm.
even as respite care?
Ugh. Yeah, the thing is, and you've said it before too, is, CYFD or CPS, they just continue to haunt people.
They do. They do. They don't. I mean, you can't even shop nowhere. You know that. You can't even
No.
shop online. Like, I mean, you can't even shop. Mostly in the stores actually. Like, we were at Target. I think it was last week. Yeah, and we were waiting for David to come back from the bathroom, and this guy passed us. He left Target's store, And I asked Esmeralda, she said, oh, that guy looks familiar. And I said, where do you know him from?
Mm.
And she said, CYFD. I just felt so like, man, these people are everywhere. Like, why can't you shop online there? Why do you gotta be at the same place we are? I don't feel like it's a coincidence.
Yeah. I don't know.
How do you just decide, oh, I'm gonna go out today because you know you just can't be anywhere without them being there.
They're destroying America. They're destroying families.
And the thing is, they don't. It'd be different if they were going for their own, their own enjoyment of the zoo or whatever, the store or whatever. But they're not. They're going so they could see who they can report.
Oh, how horrible.
That's my thought because
Mhm.
it's like that's just my thought is
Mhm.
that that's what they're going for because if they weren't, then they would be shopping online or something.
Yeah.
Like
No.
online you can't really see someone's username, but me, I don't really hide my name. I mean, I just put it out there. I mean, because I'm like, I'm not gonna hide who I am.
Mhm.
Some people have a alias, whatever, online. Me, I don't have time to remember all that stuff, so I just leave it. I just put my name and that's it.
Yeah, some people have like 4 aliases. You really
Yeah,
don't know who to trust on Facebook anymore.
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people with a lot of weird names,
Mhm.
and that's why like I'm just like okay, well, and that's why some people I don't add some people because you don't know who you're adding.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Like sometimes they'll resend that friend request several times, and I'm like, finally I'll message them and ask them, "What do you want?" or "How are you?" or something, and see how they answer. See how they answer, because it's all about the answer. That's how I feel. It's like so if they start talking about a group of $1 million, I'm like, okay, it's a scam.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you gotta really watch who you're letting into your Facebook or your life. Like someone sent me a friend request and I acknowledged it because they were a nurse's aide. And I thought, well, maybe it's someone I knew from the hospital, because I worked with so many people. I thought, well, I don't know. But then I found out within 3 weeks that she was a flying monkey for my ex. So I got rid of her, blocked her. Unbelievable.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that this trial and visit really goes through this time and they really get out of our lives because if not, I'm gonna, I'm probably gonna sue them. I am.
Yeah.
I'm probably
I,
gonna.
I would sue him anyway.
I mean, yeah. It's just kind of hard to get these Supreme Court judges to hear you
Hmm.
because of the fact that CYFD gets federal funds now. The federal government helps them. It'd be different if it was just I mean, they've always helped them, so I don't know. Sometimes it feels like they defend them. It's like you don't know if you can really sue them anymore because it's like it feels like they're defending them more and more. Because if they're giving them federal funds, they're defending them. Because if they wouldn't be defending them, they wouldn't be giving them federal funds.
Right.
So I mean, I don't even know if there's it's a that's why I think more people are just saying sue them in their individual capacity.
Yes. Yes.
Sue them separately as a separate person. Don't sue them as a agency because you're not going to win the agency. You're going to win suing the person separately because person separately they can't defend themselves. How are you gonna go and tell the judge, oh, I didn't know I was doing this. No, they knew.
Hmm.
They knew. They just didn't care.
And even on top of that, as you know, I took my case to federal court, and these lawyers just lie completely. And I had said that, my parents were never interviewed. This was all a one-sided interview. And they came back with, oh no, we interviewed a lot of people. We interviewed the psychologist, we interviewed this person, but they weren't. It's like, okay, if you want to believe your false narrative, but you didn't interview anyone from my side of my family.
Mhm.
But they were going with, we interviewed a bunch of people. They just weren't part of my family. And I don't know if there's any justice anymore.
There isn't. And that's why I think a lot of people are taking their own justice. Like that lady, a couple years into, I think it was 2018, she shot that caseworker in broad daylight when
Mhm.
she lost her rights. I mean, I know I've repeated that before, I'm sure on your show, but it's the facts. People are gonna take their own justice into their own hands if these judges don't start acting like real judges.
Mhm.
If they're afraid of prosecuting people and putting them in jail because they're afraid of being prosecuted, then they need to step down.
Mhm.
Step down, retire, go home, and live online. Order your
Mhm.
stuff online, don't shop, stay home.
Mhm.
If you're that afraid of the public, that afraid of the world, that afraid of the law, that's the best bet. Because if not, people are going to take justice into their own hands and they're going to just do it like that lady did.
Mhm.
In broad daylight, she shot that caseworker and she didn't care where she was going. She knew she was going to go to jail. She didn't care though, because that caseworker lied about her and she lost her rights because that caseworker lied.
Mhm.
And that lady's daughter was going to be a caseworker as well. She changed her major after her mother died.
Mhm.
And it's because, I'm sure she didn't want to be in the same boat as her mother.
Yeah.
But you get what you deserve in this life, and if you're gonna lie about someone, expect death. So
Mhm.
because it's gonna come.
Well, sure. I mean, as I think I told you before, that when I was going through all this and we had this nutty judge, and I said, God, get him out of our lives. However you want to do it, God, just get him out of here. So God gave him cancer and he died.
You know what? That's what I did with my mother-in-law.
Mhm.
When she was hurting Esmeralda's arm, she squeezed her arm so bad it was so red, and Esmeralda was crying. Esmeralda said she forgot about it. She forgot about it until I reminded her of it, and I told her about it, and then she remembered it. And you know,
Mhm.
I told her, I said, I'm sorry, but I did pray for your grandma to leave this world.
Mhm.
And whether it was God or Satan that took her, she basically had her own demons and dealt with them the way she did.
Mhm.
Started drinking cough syrup,
Mhm.
and basically poisoning herself.
Well, my judge died of pancreatitis, so
Yeah, like I said, I mean, people are going to eventually take themselves out when they
mhm.
finally see that they are the reason why people are suffering.
Oh, yes. And that's one less, there's gonna be less families for him to hurt now that he's answering to a higher God
Yep,
judge.
yep, yep. Because that's it says in the Bible that there's really only one judge, and that's God.
Mhm.
It's God. And that's why I keep telling people, everyone online says, oh, if I don't do this, this is going to happen. No, you need to get into your Bible and read the Bible and read what God has been saying all along. God's been saying all along that He's the judge. These are not judges.
Mhm.
They're not going to judge you at the end. God is.
Yeah.
Like my husband lying about everything he's been doing to the kids. and trying to act like he still has rights. Like I pray every day, his attorney. I pray God takes her out of this world. I pray God takes half of New Mexico's corrupt individuals in the system out, because they're the reason why we're all suffering.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Esmeralda, to get her to tell the truth about things, I had to read her the Bible. I had to read the Bible. I had to show her why she needs to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And she started crying. She started hugging me and crying. And she even told me, she said, it's just so painful. And I said, yeah. And I said, and that's why you need to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know, and he didn't have to do this to the kids. He just wanted to. He was hurting because he knew he was going to lose his wife again.
Mm-hmm.
And this time he was going to lose his wife because of himself. Because he didn't want to admit his wrongs, and he didn't want to fix his wrongs. And he didn't want to stop being a cheater. And I'm not going to deal with that.
Wow.
And now he's online. Every so often he'll get online and he'll make these fake accounts. Facebook lets me slide with it. And he starts laughing at all my posts that are, that mention him. That's how I know it's him, because they mention him and he laughs at them. I'm like, yeah, because right now he thinks it's funny. But when he sees God, he's not going to be laughing.
Mm-mm.
And that's where I'm going to get the last laugh, because God's going to judge him. And God's going to judge Lynn Pearls for being such a liar, Judge Ward for being such a liar, Marianne Darkangelis for not representing me at all,
Mm-hmm.
his attorney for representing him unjustly without him needing representation. He didn't need no one to represent him. She was even taking my letters and my stuff and using it to make his side of the case look better. When it was me that went to Independent Living Resource Center to get the services for the girls, to give them the idea of what the girls needed, because they didn't know what the girls needed.
Mm-hmm. And see, people don't realize how fast God works.
Oh yeah, he does. And they always say, and I know it says in the Bible, the wages of sin are death. And maybe it's not God that took him out, but maybe it's the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Because the devil, he wants people to.
Yeah.
And if they're evil, it also says too, the meek shall inherit the earth. So, and these people are not meek, so they're not going to stay.
No, far from it.
They're not going to stay here. So, I mean, even the bar association here in New Mexico, they're defending Marianne Darkangelis. They're saying that 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 she's done her best to represent me and this and that. I'm like, no, she hasn't. She's done nothing.
Mm.
She could have got my case closed a year ago. She didn't want to. She was grieving for my mother-in-law like she was a close relative of hers. It was just sickening. Like my mother-in-law died and she was like, oh, I love that lady. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Oh. Oh, you have been through so much, and your poor girls have been through so much. You should just leave the kids with you.
Yeah, and I think that they're gonna keep trying this family court thing. I'm like, they can try it all their lives. They didn't try it until he's dead and gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna. I mean, that's the only way he's gonna get a divorce is if he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not filing paperwork. I'm not signing nothing, man. It's because I'm not gonna let him fight with me for the kids, trying to, so he can abuse them more.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree with you.
he took all my stuff, all my clothes, all my shoes, all my belongings, my mother's belongings, the stuff that I got from my mom's house. He took most of it. I'm like, so now I know why his marriages didn't work in the past, because he was the thief.
Mm-hmm.
It
Well,
wasn't them. It wasn't them that stole from him. It was him that stole from them.
mm-hmm.
And I think his mom, no matter what she said, I don't think she cared about it.
Mm.
You know, I feel like she was the same way because when I was pregnant with Esmeralda, I confronted her about she had her underwear underneath the bathroom sink in her bathroom. And I told her, I said, is this what you did when the boys were teenagers too? Leave your underwear underneath the sink? She got mad at me and she said, that's none of your business. And I said, yeah, it is my business because if my husband has an underwear fetish because of you leaving your underwear in his view, when you're a woman, you should have a drawer for your own underwear.
Right.
She's
Oh.
so mad, but I think it got her to stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It got her to stop doing it after I told her about it.
The things you have to go through as a parent.
The next thing though is like I said, I guess she finally stopped doing it because I think she knew what she was doing was wrong. I think his mom, just like my mom, was narcissistic too.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was, and I know his dad was. I can tell his dad was just by when a dad doesn't discipline his son at all for nothing, and he keeps buying him more gifts and more toys. And I mean, when I cleaned out the storage, there was so much toys, stuff from ages and ages ago. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, he was just spoiled. That's really what it was.
Mm.
No discipline. It's a spoiled brat.
Yeah, and they turned him into a narcissist.
Yeah, yeah, because they never disciplined him.
Mm-hmm.
Never disciplined, never give him no rules, no structure, nothing.
Mm-mm.
And then she used that religion, the Jehovah's Witness religion, to cover up everything. That's why she never got caught for nothing. That's why, you know, Mark sexually abusing David, his brother. No one never knew about that because she used the religion to cover it up. And she never got her son the help he needed. Both of them. She should have got them both help, and she didn't because she didn't want to admit she had problems in her family. So she used the religion to cover it up. Think, if my kids go to church, nobody will never know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's my thought. That's what she was thinking because it's like, why wouldn't you go get your son's counseling? Both of them. And medication doesn't help people. You can give them all the medication you want, but they have problems. They still got to talk about them.
Oh, yeah. It's a matter of finding the right counselor that, fits the needs for your kids
Yeah,
or that person.
yeah, and doesn't justify everything too, because a lot of these counselors that are nowadays will justify things, and you wonder sometimes if they too are narcissistic. Because if they're justifying things, then they probably have problems too.
Mm.
It's hard to find a good counselor these days.
Yeah. Yeah, that is for sure. I mean, you've got to go through a couple of them sometimes to find the right fit. But I mean, I always tell people not to give up. Just keep looking. You'll find the right one.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I just hope that this time this works. I really hope it does. I hope that my boyfriend's partially right, and I hope that they do finally want to close the case and leave us alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, I'm gonna expose them more than what I already have.
Yeah.
I am, and it's not gonna be pretty
Mm-hmm.
because I'm tired of these people.
Yeah.
I'm really, really tired of them.
Jeez, yeah.
And they won't stop, they won't. I mean, this judge, I couldn't believe it when she called me to my phone. I'm like, I'm like, why would you want to call me after a year of not hearing me? You want to
Yeah.
call me for a whole, you haven't called me for a whole year, but you want to call me a year later to think that things are different? No, they're not. The only difference is my kids are more abused now and more damaged.
Mm. And she's responsible for letting that happen.
She is because
Oh.
she let CYFD put the kids down with him. She let them attack me the way they did and lie about me. They never lied. They lied about me and my boyfriend both.
Hmm.
That's because they thought they were gonna break us. They thought, oh, we'll lie about them so we could break them. Because they thought. So the thing is, they want me completely destroyed. They want me completely destroyed. They want me completely broken.
Mm.
They don't want to see Monica Griego online or on a podcast or on YouTube or outside protesting or educating any parents or helping a parent get their kids back or giving them ideas. Nothing. They don't want Monica Griego doing nothing. They want Monica Griego in the hole, like Marilyn Monroe. And it's gonna take a lot
Hmm.
for that to happen because I mean I have a lot of people, a lot of angels that are watching over me. My mom, my dad, my grandma, both my grandmas actually, my great grandmas, a lot of my family. So you know, I'm just hoping that they finally get tired.
Yeah. Well, you're persistent. That's what it takes. You just keep going, Monica. You don't stop.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just it's just hard though because it's like, you know, every time I think that they're gonna do something to help us and close the case, when are you
Oh,
gonna stop coming by? Like we don't want to see you again.
yeah. Oh,
Like today, the kids have to see him from 4 to 5. I'm like, I
oh,
don't even know if I'm gonna open the door.
yeah. I don't know.
I mean, what can
But
they do? What can they do if we don't open the door? What are they going to do? Call the police?
yeah.
Trap? I mean, he used to hide the kids from me several times, and
Hmm.
they didn't care.
Right. Yeah. Hmm.
And the thing is, the kids just don't want to see him. They get traumatized when they see him.
Yeah.
And that's because they go back into they start remembering what he did to them.
How horrible.
And even these therapists, like, I don't even know if they really feel compassion for the kids at all.
I don't. I don't think so.
Because they say that oh, we know it's frustrating. I'm like, okay, then if you know, then why would you even advocate even 10% for him to see them?
Hmm. But I know. I mean, I'm going to have you back on because you've been giving us such great updates on your case.
Yeah, we so far, like I said, we've got the kids, but we just haven't got the official letter that says this case is closed.
Yeah.
They'll never return to the mother.
Hmm.
I mean, that's all I want. That's what I want. They need to just do their job. They need to do their job. They need to close the case and they need to terminate his rights, and that's it.
Hmm.
And if he wants a divorce, let him go file for it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna file for it because I'm not gonna let him fight with me for the kids in court because he doesn't have rights to them. He doesn't need to have rights to him after what he did to them.
Hmm.
The schools even know he did something to them, but they won't report it. They won't do anything about it. They'll just very vague, deep, reports.
Well, sometimes even if the school reports something, like my middle one reported something, and CPS just blew it off. They called it different parenting styles. So, yeah,
Horrible.
yeah,
Different parenting styles. How is that?
I don't know. When someone takes your kid by the back of the neck and then whips a water bottle at him, I guess that's different parenting styles. But if I did that, I'd be locked up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, people need to realize that this this inequality that we're going through, it's never gonna change. I don't
No.
care. They can try the whole 2030 agenda when it comes. It's gonna make the world worse. That's all. If there was no equalness now, if there wasn't equalness in the 80s, the 60s, there ain't gonna ever be equalness.
Right. Well, I mean, if someone needs to reach you, how can they reach you?
I do have a website on Facebook that's it's on my profile.
Okay.
I post stuff as I find it on the website, and here's another website that I recently found. I paid to get the information from that website. I paid $40, but for me it was worth it because it's what I think that's what's helped. That's what's helped me, and it's a website called getmychildrenback.com. Anyone could sign up, anyone could join the website, and then if they want the documents or whatever that they're offering on the website, I think you pay like $40 for a membership or $25, something like that. I forgot how much it is, but it's a one-time fee.
Mhm.
And I paid for it. I downloaded some of the stuff. I don't know for how long I'm gonna get access to it. Hopefully, a long time. And I'm gonna try to promote it on my website
Mhm.
and just see how many more people we can help get their
Yeah.
kids back home, get the cases closed, get families reunified, the ones that are good families,
Mhm.
and just hopefully we can get more CPS buildings
Oh, yeah.
gone, and demolished and end this system. We need to end this system.
Agreed.
We don't need to have CPS everywhere because
Mm-mm.
they don't do nothing.
No,
They don't.
they just destroy.
That's it. That's all they do.
Well, hey, don't jump off. Slam the Gavel's a podcast to help the public understand what really goes on in these family courtrooms. I'm your host, Marianne Petrie, author of Dismantling Family Court Corruption, Why Taking the Kids Was Not Enough, and Cry Out for Justice, Poems of Truth. Please join us here again with Monica Griego in the future and other exciting guests. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you for having me on your show.